We've once again woken up early, not as early as yesterday. Okay, so some goals for today, I guess. We'll try and catch Nami, if we can. It's the 3rd. If we look at our calendar, like I mentioned earlier, on the 3rd and the 8th of every month, we will get a traveling merchant that comes by to sell his wares. And that's a good thing because you can basically sell everything that you can't sell through the shipping container. So you can sell flowers, anything else that you forage, anything you get from the dig site, you know, those kinds of things. Put my chicken outside for now. It's not raining or anything, so they shouldn't get sick. So I can peck the ground when it wakes up. And the good thing about Van as well is you can haggle with him. So a lot of the time, he will give you more money for something than what it's actually worth. Not all the time, but sometimes, depending on what it is. So that's a really good way to get a little bit of extra cash as well. It takes a few days for flowers to grow back. So usually what I do if I wake up early like this is I do that first. I kind of just have a look around to see if any flowers have grown back, and I will go and round those up and add them to my rucksack because nobody is awake at this god-awful hour. Just us and Takakura, I guess, who gets up, you know, pretty early. So I wake up, get things done early, and then I kind of have the rest of the day to do whatever else I want. Also because your animals don't like to be bothered this early in the morning, I wait on them as well. The chickens are nice because, as you saw, I picked it up and it didn't wake up. It just, you know, kept sleeping. So your chickens you can get the eggs from early in the morning, but anything that you have in your barn will get cheesed off if you pick it up or pet it or talk to it too early in the morning. And Van comes in the afternoon, and we will have an announcement when he shows up. We'll be able to know when he's here, so we won't miss him or anything like that. He speaks very loudly and clearly. And he'll set up shop right next to the bar, kind of in that main drag of the town. The town? This isn't a town. This is like a rural village in the middle of nowhere. But you know what? Whatever. These people are happy. They all have their own lives, and a lot of them work elsewhere, and they just live here, which happens a lot of the time when you live out in the sticks. Because it's a small place, they don't really have a great economy, I would say. Like, I grew up in a small town, not as small as this, but it was pretty small, and a lot of people lived in the town that I lived, but they commuted and worked somewhere else. I don't live in a small place now, but I do live close to a big city, so that happens here too where I live. A lot of people live in my town because housing is cheaper, but they drive and work in the city. So Chris works in the city. She's usually gone all day. I think Wally works in the city. He does in the DS version anyways. Takakura goes to the city to, you know, drop off all your farming goods, stuff like that. Oh man, you better keep running there, little buddy. You were way behind your dad. He's not even giving you a fair chance, man. He's running laps around you. As time goes on, everybody ages, and Hugh gets bigger. He grows into a teenager, and he'll start to outrun his dad. So it'll get turned around for the little guy. Don't worry. Alright, 8 o'clock. I'm gonna go kind of wait around the inn, I guess. I'll kind of start to have a look around there now, hoping that Nami will wake up and I can look in her room before she leaves. Because I do think she likes to sleep in. I think she sleeps until like 9 or 10 or something like that. And I think this is her room. Yeah, I think the one on the left is her room, and then I think this is Rock's room, I want to say. Like, one of them is Nami's and one of them is Rock's. Ruby sleeps in the back of the inn, like near the kitchen. So I'll just wait around. I'll kind of knock on her door maybe every half an hour, maybe is a good kind of time. Like, I'll knock on her door at 9. I'll knock on her door at 9:30. Ooh, 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 she's gonna let me in. Okay, perfect. Well, I don't need to keep knocking. She's gonna let me in. I have to leave, so just hold on to your pants, lady. Okay. So anyways, her journal is right here. Just basically make a straight beeline from the door right to, you know, the little table in front of you with the radio and the book, and there is her journal. But the second I walk in the door, she's like, yeah, I have to go, so if you would leave and get out of my face, that would be great. You look like you have lots of free time, man. Yeah, says the traveler with no job. I got a farm to run, lady. I got important things to do. Alright. Anyhow. So there we are. We know how to stalk and track all these ladies to see which one of them likes us the most. Blue Bar is not open right now. It's a little bit early. So we'll have to maybe catch Muffy later. And Celia is usually up pretty early as well because she's a farmer and everybody on the farm is a farmer, obviously. So, you know, she's up pretty early. You can start to give her gifts pretty early on in the day. And here's Van. Here is our traveling merchant that we're waiting for. I travel all across the world selling rare items. Very pleased to meet you. My shop will be open on the 3rd and the 8th of each month. Please stop by whenever you feel the need. I should also mention, too, that Van has specialized stock. So he has stuff that you cannot buy anywhere else. When you have a kid, you can buy kids' toys from him. You can buy a goat. There's only one goat in the game, and you can buy it from him. And there's a couple of other things you can buy from him as well. So his store is definitely worth, you know, checking out. See, Vesta scares me. Like, some people say, like, oh, you know, Nami scares me, or these standoffish, kind of, like, rude characters scare me, but I don't know. She kind of freaks me out. She's nice and all, but, she freaks me out. Do you like flowers? You have something tasty. To each their own, lady. Here you go. I'll give her some flowers because, like I said, you get a tool out of her, so I think she's worth befriending. And just like Muffy, Celia will take flowers as well. So Nami's really the only challenge. You can just give Celia and Muffy flowers for days and they are perfectly content. But the only flowers that Nami likes, someone corrected me, they don't come out in summer, they come out in fall. There's a flower in fall that she will like, but most of what she'll take is either from the dig site or something that you can cook. And I think she also likes crops as well, but I don't really want to give her my crops. That's, you know, my rent money. So go check up on these guys. Are you here to see me or Griffin? Well, you, actually. I wanted to see you. You're making me embarrassed. Give her a flower. Yes. I also find that, you know, obviously Muffy's the most flirtatious, which might bother some people, but I actually kind of like it because it opens up a lot more dialogue. You might have noticed there that she asked if the gift was for her, and then you had the options of yes, no, only if you want it. So you can kind of hint towards the amount of interest that you have in her, whereas the other girls will either take the gift or they won't. I guess before Van opens shop, what I'm gonna do is have a peek in on my animals here. Make sure that they are doing okay. Milk my cow. And generally speaking, I usually like to just keep my animals out to graze, which I think is always a really smart idea. Unless it rains, you want to get your animals out of the rain ASAP before they get sick. But for the most part, letting them graze is fine because it lets them have sunshine, it lets them eat grass outside. You don't have to worry about missing the feeding time for them, that kind of thing. Chicken laid an egg today, which is great. And chickens only lay eggs if they're happy, so hopefully, and I'm going to assume, that that means putting the chicken out here is working as a feeding mechanism, which is good news. We should have our bags of bird seed that we ordered later on in the day today, so I can actually give the birds some proper food. Speak of the devil! Just what I was talking about. He's gonna bring our stuff. Man, he was super early today. I think yesterday he brought our stuff around 3? It's only 1:30. Takakura gets stuff done. He don't mess around. And Van has also opened up shop. He didn't give us an announcement, probably because we were busy doing something, but he stays pretty late in the day. He stays until about 5 or 6, so anyhow, let's have a look at what he's selling. Ooh, he's selling a fishing pole, a brush for our animals, a turbojolt, a botagizer, and a body hyper. These 3 items will give us more energy, basically, and they can also be used for gifts. But I'm broke ass right now, so what do I want to sell? I guess I'll just sell my flowers, really, because I shouldn't need, like, you know, this many flowers. Ugh. Yes. And as you can see here, we can sell 1 flower, you know, for 15 gold, G's, whatever you want to call them. So, you know, if you can get flowers every couple of days, it adds up. Same with stuff from the dig site. We can have a look at, you know, what these things cost and sell them if we want. I think I'm going to hold on to them, though, because I can use them as gifts. I'm going to sell my eggs through the shipping container, and I'm going to keep the mugworts as food for when my character gets hungry. So there's just the first little introductory look at Van's shop. We will be seeing a lot more of him, and we will be using his services a lot more throughout the course of the game. But like I said, we just started, and I don't have any freaking money, so Still early in the day, and I have done absolutely everything. So, I guess I can go digging. Carter should be at the dig site. He doesn't really have much of a life or goes anywhere else. I wasn't talking to you, Flora. Even though I guess it doesn't hurt to say hello. So we'll dig a bit more, see if there's anything else we can find, and then I guess I can maybe go around and talk to some more villagers, give out some more gifts. Everything is pretty minimal until you have enough money to sort of get your farm going. Because taking care of your animals and taking care of your crops and stuff like that, that's really, I think, what for the most part eats up the most amount of time. So when you don't have a farm that's particularly thriving, it doesn't really give you a lot to do. But having to sit and wait through the animation where you actually pick up the items, kills a couple of minutes. So digging is a really good way to pass the time, especially when the dig site gets really big. In later years, there have been times where I haven't even had time to dig through the entire dig site because it's just so massive. So we've got a couple of things today. I'll just keep digging a little bit more here. Get any last minute items before we take off. Or before Carter kicks me out. One or the other. Usually when the sun starts to go down, he'll kick you out, which I want to say is about 5 o'clock, but I could be wrong. It might be closer to 6. Still no tablet. Which is okay. The tablet is randomized. There have been some years I've been digging and I haven't found any, tablets, and then there have been some years where I visit the dig for the first time in that year and I just, magically happen to find the tablet. So don't sweat it if you don't find it. Just keep digging. And it's 5 o'clock, so it looks like that's when he kicks you out, is 5. So that's good to know. Thanks, Carter. You're a real bro. Alright. So now I guess what we can do is go back, put the animals inside, have a look around the valley, see if there's anybody walking around we want to give some gifts to. And then call it a day. I don't know if Flora gives you anything. The only thing that I think befriending some characters does if they don't give you gifts is that befriending certain people will sway your son into certain career paths. So I guess if you know right away what you want your son to do or don't do, then it's a good idea to start befriending kind of like very specific people early on. Have a fossil, Mammy. I don't know where you're gonna keep all these fossils, but hey, that's not my problem. Once I've handed the item off, it no longer becomes my problem. And we haven't had a chance to have a look in some of these little houses here. This is Chris Hugh and Wally's house. You can see all the fitness equipment and whatnot. I forget what Hugh likes. I think he gives you something too. I'll have to look into that. I honestly don't remember, but that's alright. And then usually when Van is done at his store selling stuff, he'll usually go up and visit with Romana, and then he'll head on back to town. So you can give him gifts as well, but I don't remember if giving him gifts grants you any sort of additional benefits. Like, I don't think that giving him gifts will give you like a discount or anything. I'm gonna see if Galen and Nina are home, because I should really try and befriend Galen while I remember. Nina's very easy to befriend. She's another one that just likes flowers. Do you like statues? Who are you again? Why are you showing me strange totems? What do you want from me? If it's your weakness, take it. I insist. It's for you. Have it. I don't want it. Oh, okay. That's weird. Maybe it's just a time of day where he won't take gifts. That's the only thing I can think of. I don't know why he wouldn't. Interesting. Okay, I guess I'll have to try giving him a gift another time then. Maybe Nina will take a gift. Galen might take something while he's outside. Or maybe we can try a different gift. Somebody in the chat is suggesting herbs. Aha! That worked. Excellent. Well, okay then. Thank you for that suggestion. That worked out quite nicely. And you can see Ruby here. You can get a recipe, a couple different recipes from her, and a special item, I think, if you befriend her. So that might be worth checking out. And there's no flowers back here at this time of year. I think come summertime, you get some flowers behind Galen's yurt here. Not a whole lot else going on today, though. I should pick up my bird seed and give it to my chickens. My chicken, I should say. My solitary chicken. My lone chicken. Bring my cow back inside. You can also leave your animals out overnight. It should be noted that you can do that. It's not like there's any problem with that. Assuming the weather is good. I mean, if it rains overnight or it rains in the morning when you wake up and your animals are outside, they're not going to be very happy about that. So I always bring them in because it doesn't take that much effort. And it's just a lot safer that way. You save a lot of money in animal medicine, and your animals will give you better, product if they're happy, so. And once your dog starts to like you, they'll follow you around, and they'll roll on their back and, show their belly, and they'll do all sorts of cute things. So there's the bird seed, and that should last this one solitary chicken a few days. I don't think I have to worry too much about that. What I am worried about though is where the hell is my chicken? Oh, there it is. Okay. I was gonna say, I put it outside. It has free roam. Where the heck did it go? And luckily in this game, you don't have to worry about wild dogs. In some games, if you leave your animals out overnight or you leave them out too late and you don't have any sort of protection, wild dogs will attack your animals and spook them, and they'll be very unhappy and stressed out. But you don't have to worry about that, and you also don't have to worry about the dog on your farm doing anything like attacking your chickens. So you can leave your chickens out. As time goes on, we will be able to get a chicken kind of fenced area, kind of right next to the chicken coop, where you can actually put your chickens so that they don't wander around aimlessly on your farm and you won't be able to find them. I don't think we'll be able to do that for a while yet, but if you have a lot of chickens, it's not a bad idea. Getting late, 10 p.m., so let's go ahead and nap. He doesn't even need 8 hours of sleep. He went to bed at, what, 10, and he's up at like 3:30? He's nuts. Oh, the chicken fence is in the girl version only. That's good to know. I guess somewhere along the way I forgot that, but thank you for pointing that out. Because I found that to be very useful. Like I said, I really like having chickens as opposed to, stuff in the barn. So I usually fill the shed with chickens, and I get the pond, and then I also get lots of ducks and whatnot as well. So I've got all these birds roaming around. So I always thought that the chicken fence was really, really useful, but I guess if it's only in the girl version, we're gonna have to do without. We'll either just have to bite the bullet and let them eat the seed and just keep them inside, or maybe just let a few of them out at a time, or, whatever the case may be. I also like in Another Wonderful Life that you can change your clothes, which again is just like a cosmetic thing. It makes no difference to the game whatsoever, but they did add a couple of features in Another Wonderful Life that I think are really nice. There are games now, newer ones, I think, starting with Tale of Two Towns, where your clothing actually affects your love interests. Like, I've played Tale of Two Towns, and you can get different outfits, and depending on which one you wear, different candidates will make comments about it. Like, some of them will be like, oh man, that's a really nice outfit, it looks really nice on you. And I think that it also happens in A New Beginning as well, which I haven't played. I'm so behind on new Harvest Moon games. Like, it's just unbelievable. But that's kind of interesting, how that has kind of changed, where it was just like an aesthetic thing, and now it's actually making its way into having an effect in the game. So unfortunately, we are stuck wearing what we're wearing now until the end of time. We can never change our outfit. And in this game too, some characters, when the seasons change, their clothing will change. I think it's in this game. Don't quote me on that, because now I'm like, wait, what? Am I lying? I think Nami's clothes change. That could also just be in the girl version too, but I think I remember their clothes changing over in like fall and winter. They do in Animal Parade, I know. All your characters will have clothes in spring and summer, and then it will change over in fall and winter, which is kind of neat. And hello to all the people who are just joining us. We are currently on the 4th day of spring, so we've only really just begun. We've kind of gone over the basics. We met everybody. We started to mingle with the townsfolk. We have a couple of animals. We're just kind of getting things going here, so you haven't really missed much. Nothing too terribly exciting. I guess while Gallon's here, I'll give him another herb. So we'll keep giving him gifts since he will take those, and those are very easy to find. And when you have befriended a character, when you walk past them, you'll be able to tell because they'll turn their head as if to look at you. So that's a really good indication in this game to see if people like you or not. You know, they don't have a system in this game, apart from the bachelorettes, where you can see people's affection like they do in later games. So, there's that. Hello, kitties. Oh, hello, Sebastian. I think he likes flowers too. I'm gonna see if he'll take a flower from me. No? No? Okay, that's alright. No problem. I'll figure it out. I do want to give Romana gifts, though, because she will give you a cat later on, and I think she also maybe gives you something else as well. But I don't know what room she's in. I know this is Lumina's room, obviously. Oh, she's facing me today. She's not being rude. Because in the DS version... Please don't go into my bedroom. What? This isn't your bedroom? This is just like your second side of your bedroom? This place is huge! Well, whatever. This is like her sitting room, I guess? I don't know. In the DS version, Romana's room is downstairs, but I don't know if her room is actually downstairs in this one. Maybe it is. Maybe this is her room. Haha! There you are. If you ever have free time, come visit me. I wonder if she'll take gifts when she's in her rocking chair. I don't know. Oh, she will. Okay, perfect. Nope, she won't. Called it. Guess when she's in her chair, she won't take a gift, but it is good to know that she will take flowers. Because she's, like, old and, you know, doesn't really get around much, she's usually in the mansion, so maybe I'll come back a little bit later and try and find her, and she'll walk around very, very occasionally. Once I get the horse, it'll be a lot easier for me to start befriending people, because it takes up a lot of time to walk all the way up to her freaking mansion only to find out that, you know, she's busy and won't take my gift. There you go, Chris. You're welcome. I guess now I can go check up on the animals. It's about 9 o'clock right now, so they should all be alive and kicking. Well, I would hope so. They were alive a couple hours ago when I left. I like to milk my cow indoors, especially if I'm doing it by hand, because I find that if you're milking your cow outdoors, the milk bottles will be placed in the grass, and it can be hard to find them. So usually I'll milk my cow indoors, make sure it has enough fodder, and then I'll let it out to graze for the rest of the day, kind of thing. And you can have, I think, up to 8 animals in your barn. 7 really, technically, because when you get the horse, it has its own feeding tray and place in the barn, and your horse can never die. You can never sell it. There's absolutely no way to get rid of it, so it pretty much takes up like a permanent spot in your barn. But still, seven animals is enough. It's not that many. And if I get myself a rooster, I can start getting fertilized eggs. And I can be able to have chicks on my farm without buying them. I can just use the incubator. I think fertilized eggs also sell for more money, so I can sell them. And it's kind of gross, but you can also actually eat the fertilized eggs, which is just like, ugh, gross. So let's put our stuff in. I'm kind of on the fence about what it is that I want to buy next. I'm getting a pretty good amount of money at this point. I should probably go buy more seeds. I think seeds is probably the best way to go at this point. Especially because in this game, certain crops last a few different seasons just because the months are so short. So if I were to buy more tomato seeds, I can plant those from spring all the way until fall. Maybe we'll even see a heart event or two if we manage to befriend the girls. And I guess I didn't talk about it. I asked you guys what girl you prefer to marry or who your favorite bride in this game is, but then I didn't tell you guys who I prefer to marry. And I actually prefer to marry Muffy, which I think surprises a lot of people. Most people I talk to don't like Muffy. You know, they think she's just a ditzy bimbo and, you know, she's kind of stupid and flirty and whatnot. But in this game especially, they really gave Muffy a lot of character. You know, she's at a point in her life where I think she's kind of in like a midlife crisis. She really wants to get married and have kids and be a wife, but she just has no luck with men, and she's tired of heartbreak. And so for those reasons, you know, it's you feel for her. You feel really bad for her, you know, and she's saying, I'm getting on in age and I'm getting old and nobody's gonna want me. And I also think she makes a wonderful wife and a wonderful mother. So I usually marry her for those reasons. I also think that her kid is kind of the most well-rounded because, like I mentioned earlier, Nami's son is really kind of angsty and he's hard to get through to, he's hard to talk to, he's hard to kind of sway to do certain things. And then Celia's son, most likely, unless you try really, really hard, is going to take over the farm. Which isn't a bad thing. I mean, you know, you would think that you'd want your child to take over the farm, but if that's not what you want, then it's really, really hard to sway that child in a different direction. Whereas I think Muffy's child is the most pliable, and he's also the most happy-go-lucky. He's very happy, he's very easy to talk to. He's a bit of like a dumb jock when he gets to be a teenager. But I don't know, I just think that marrying her really just has the best sort of outcomes, more or less, so to speak. I don't particularly like Celia. I think she's very boring, and she becomes really mean when you marry her, I find. You know, she puts on this sweet facade when you don't know her, and then when you marry her, she kind of, I don't know, I just find her to be kind of mean. And she's just boring, you know. Some people might find it enjoyable to marry another farmer and kind of continue on that tradition and whatnot. But I'm not really into the farmer girls, to be honest. It's kind of like Renee in. Ooh, there's the tablet. Sweet. Carter's gonna want that. As I was saying, it's kind of like Renee in the Wii games, you know, or Anessa. Like they're the farmer girls. One of them deals with animals and the other one deals with crops. But they're both just they look the same, they act the same. They're just like these two kind of plain Jane girls, and I'm just not really into it. I don't know. I like a girl with a bit of personality. I definitely think Muffy has personality, and she is just so thankful too when you marry her, you know. So we're gonna give Carter the tablet. And that will secure us being able to expand the dig site next year. I doubt we'll make it that far. I don't tend to stream for a long period of time, guys, because it tires me out and I find it hard to concentrate. Um, it's not going to be likely that I'll probably get to like summer or that we'll get terribly far. So unfortunately, we're probably not going to be able to see, getting married and that kind of stuff going into the second year this time around. But I'll do my best. We'll see how much we can get accomplished with what time I have. And in the female version, the children turn out very much the same. Like, you have Marlin, Gustafa, and why am I having a brain fart? Rock. You have those three guys as your options. So Rock's child is kind of like Muffy's child, kind of like the happy-go-lucky, kind of ditzy, kind of out there child. Marlin's child is very much like Nami's, very sort of, I don't know, depressed and very hard to get through to, and kind of wants to be left alone and does his own thing. And then if you marry Gustafa, his child is kind of the down to earth ones. So that's also a consideration if you were going to play the female version. If you played this version and you thought, oh, I really like the way that Nami's kid turned out, or I really like the way that Rock's kid turned out, or sorry, not Nami's or Muffy's rather, then you might want to say, okay, I want that sort of outcome again, or I want to go for a child with a different personality type. Then that kind of decides your spouse. I feel like you kind of get gypped in the female version because Marlin, Gustafa, and Rock, it's not really, much choice. I don't really want to marry either of them, none of them, but those are your only three choices. Oh, I'm getting hungry. I better eat something. In the DS version, you have a bit more choice. You can also marry Griffin. You can marry Carter. And you also have the choice for a new candidate in that game as well, on top of the three that you can already marry, Rock, Gustafa, and Marlin. So giving you a lot more choice for sure. I was gonna give Romana another shot at giving her a gift, but I don't see her, so I think I'll have to try and catch her a little bit earlier in the day. I think I came a little bit too early when I went by earlier on, but now I think I came by a little bit too late, so that's okay. We will stop by again sometime and have a look in on her. I gave Galen a gift today, I gave Daryl a gift today, I gave the girls gifts today, so that's perfect. Maybe I'll go give Vesta a gift too while she's standing out here in the field. I don't think I gave Celia a gift today, but nah, meh. Maybe I'll give her gifts just so that we can maybe see some of her heart events, but again, I'm not terribly interested. Here you go. You're welcome. I think I already gave her a flower today. I think that's why she's not taking it. And I don't think that she will take flowers when she's out in the field. Alright, well, maybe I'll buy some seeds from Celia when she goes inside the house here. Maybe I'll just stick with tomatoes. That seems like a kind of a safe option. Yeah, let's see what you got. I didn't really have a good look last time. Tomatoes, watermelons, strawberries, melons, turnips, potatoes. I'll buy some turnips too. Let's buy 5. Because they're so cheap. And then we'll buy some tomatoes as well. And I already have 2 tomatoes growing, so let's just buy 3 and make it an even 5 for both. And then that way we're not spending an arm and a leg on seeds, but we have a good variety. Because again, like I mentioned, I'm a very lazy farmer. I don't want to spend all day watering stuff, so I usually like to start small. And then either when I really want a lot of like money or I have the time, I will plant a lot of stuff. And as someone just pointed out to me very, very kindly, turnips are summer through winter, so we are not going to be able to actually plant these until next season. But that doesn't mean that we can't plant our tomatoes. So at the very least, that's a good thing because we'll have something to start in summer. Thanks for all the help, by the way, everybody in the chat. I really appreciate it. Like I said, I don't, you know, I know enough about Harvest Moon, but I don't always remember everything. So it's good that you guys are here to give me a reminder of stuff. I really appreciate it. And having discussions in the chat is also a good thing. Then I actually feel like people are watching and I'm not just talking to myself. It's different when you record. I mean, when you record, you're talking to yourself because you're just doing it on your own. But when I'm streaming and I feel like no one's talking in the chat, I'm kind of like, oh, does everybody leave me? Am I here by myself? And yes, it's been years since I played this or Another Wonderful Life. Like I said, I've just been kind of playing the DS version lately. And I have both DS versions, by the way. I have DS, the boy version, and I have DS Cute. DS I've played for 12 in-game years. I played all the way up until my kid grew up and was a teenager. I put a lot of time into that game. And then I'm just working on the female version right now. I haven't married anybody yet or anything like that. I'm trying to rescue all those stupid harvest sprites. So I've just been kind of working on that. And if you guys aren't familiar with me or you haven't been subscribed to me for a long time, you'll also know that I do a ton of work on the Harvest Moon wiki. I've been an admin there for, oh boy, forever now, like 5 or 6 years, I think. So when I play Harvest Moon games, they take me a long time too because I do things like collect quotes from the characters. I do things like try and get all the hard events even for characters I'm not interested in, you know, those kinds of things. Which is why one of the big reasons I put 12 years into Harvest Moon DS was because I wanted to get all the information I could about your kid at each kind of stage of his growth and whatnot. It's still early, so for the heck of it, maybe let's go to the bar. Let's go and see what's going on at the bar. See if we can buy ourselves a drink. See who's mingling at this late hour. You know, that kind of thing. And there is not a single soul. Ooh, I got a red heart from Muffy. Hey, girl, how you doing? That means I should be able to see her first heart event. I don't remember how to trigger it, but we'll see. And again, they're not very easy to woo. I've only given Muffy, what, like 2 gifts? That's it. So, it's not very hard. There's nobody to really mingle to, but I figured, hey, why not? Let's stop in for a drink, say hello, give them some money, give them some company. Nami's still, you know, angsty as usual. And aside from that, there's not a whole heck of a lot going on. Gustavo was here playing guitar under the tree, but I didn't have a chance to listen in on what he was saying. I think he likes flowers too, actually. Gustavo. There you go. And yes, I have upped my production value. I think the reason that I leave the Another Wonderful Life videos up on my channel is just because there are still people who watch it, which kind of surprises me because whenever I see someone trying to play a game and record it with a camera, like I just go cringe. I just cringe. So it's kind of surprising to me that people still watch that kind of stuff when it's such bad quality, and it's kind of shocking to me that that's how the channel kind of got up off the ground. I'm very thankful, of course, but I would rather not keep it up on the channel, or I would rather re-record it or something, but it just kind of hasn't been a priority at the time. So just kind of taking it one day at a time. I've got all these other Harvest Moon games I have to play and get through.